Get back, you foul minions of Grizzlebrand! The dawn has arrived, and you shall... exiled. Excuse me, what plane is this? Which multiversial plane are we on? Are there any nearby portals back to Innistrad?
I really don't know.
Excuse me. Battle for Innistrad. In there?
Sí, es aquella puerta.
Is there also a restroom in there? A gathering of planeswalkers. Masters. I am at your service.
This tournament is going to see the debut of Star City Black, a team of Hall of Famers and game theory geniuses that you helped to assemble. Would you say that the emergence of ChannelFireball as this super team was a motivating factor for you guys to really get a bunch of heads together?
I will say one thing that has come up is there have been multiple discussions where it's like, well, what would the ChannelFireball guys do? Because it doesn't make sense to do something that's going to lose to what they're going to do.
Yeah, we would love to do better than them. Like, I think the rivalries are awesome for Magic. I don't think it's an unfriendly rivalry by any stretch, but yeah, we want to do better. I mean, who doesn't? I'm surprised it took people this long to get organized. It's not like we're doing anything that, secret. We're just meeting ahead of the tournament and making sure to play enough games.
How badly do you guys want to outperform that team and maintain your dominance as the best team in Magic?
Oh, we'd love to just crush them into the dirt. I mean, it's a great group of guys. I got nothing but respect for them. It's like Kai and Finkel, Nassif, Chapin. I mean, they're all excellent players, great guys, but it is satisfying when we outperform them.
Owen Turtenwald even said, we'd love to crush them into dirt. What's your reaction to that?
They have a great squad. The fact that they have like half of our Pro Tour top 8s lifetime is no knock on them. They haven't achieved what our team has achieved. And I think we all want to crush CFB. We want to win this Pro Tour.
Owen seems like one of those guys who likes to talk a lot. He's not nearly as funny as he thinks he is.
When I first met you, I called you the greatest player of all time.
Sure.
But you were quick to point out to me that there was another in your rarefied class. What has Kai Buddha done for competitive Magic?
What hasn't Kai Buddha done? He's won 7 Pro Tours. I won 3. I don't know. I think maybe one other person's won 3. Mm-hmm. A few have won 2. But nobody's won half as many as he has. He has 10 top 8s. He's, the all-time money leader.
Mm-hmm. Here's a list of cities in which you won a premier level Magic tournament. Vienna, Amsterdam, Barcelona twice, Tokyo, New York, Cape Town, Chicago twice, New Orleans, Lisbon, Antwerp, Osaka, Sydney, Boston, and Madrid.
It's pretty evenly spread out, I think.
Well, my question is, why so few?
Didn't have much more time, couldn't go to all the Asian GPs.
Well, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Very sorry.
target my Planeswalker instead of that.
Yes. The Huntmaster ability will target you, and when it resolves, your opponent can choose whether to redirect it to the Planeswalker.
And I'm going to give you a warning for a game rule violation. Okay?
Okay. So you should have 7 cards. ¿Jugaste este una vez o no lo has jugado?
Sí.
Esto lo has jugado ya. Por lo cual, si tenemos una carta, tienes que hacer 13 cartas. 13 cards.
So it's different from redirection because
It's different
so
from redirection because
So
it prevents and then deals.
Who believes that we are still in the pre-combat main phase?
A real Jedi mind trick is a very specific type. It's just where you get the other person to do something that you want them to do. It's like, it's just suggestion. It's like the, these are not the droids you're looking for type of thing.
Do you ever use the Jedi mind trick to win games at a Pro Tour, say?
To some extent, yes. I mean, I think, like, I don't know anyone who hasn't done the old pick up the pen trick or, like, the act surprised when they do something you want them to do. It's not outside my range to do that. I don't go out of my way to try to figure out something really, really tricky because I think a lot of the times people should concentrate more on trying to play well than to try to trick their opponent. But sometimes you got to trick your opponent, and I have respect for people who can manage that. You want to make sure you don't cross the line, though. I try to stay very clear of it.
I got Yuri Peleg at the in the finals of the World Championships. I got him with the oldest trick in the book, the pen trick.
Yeah.
And it's where your opponent's trying to decide whether or not to attack.
Yeah.
And the original version is you just pick up the pen and act like you're going to write down your life total. And then they think, oh, he's not going to do anything because he's about to write down his life total, right? But then when they attack, you put the pen down and you do whatever it is you're going to do. And that's the pen trick.
So you spring at them with a removal spell or a
right.
pump spell or something like that.
Yeah, and so he wasn't going to do it. But then just as he started to turn his first creature sideways, he saw my hand slowly motion towards the pen.
Yeah.
And he thought there's no way, he's not even looking, there's no way this could be an act, So then he attacked with everything and I had it.
I will deal 5 damage to Doran this each turn.
So that's a carefully crafted moment of acting on your part to really sell it.
I guess, I don't know, that's definitely pretty close to Bush League tactics, but like sometimes like when they're high up enough, if you just aim super low in terms of the intelligence of what you're doing, you can get them because they got to think there's no way he's that stupid.
Gamers are great with finding the loopholes, even in clear guidelines. So it's, a lot of situations have to be judged on their own merits because it is a game about some casual deception. You can't outright lie about anything that you can't lie about.
Do you have a sort of guiding principle as to whether or not a player is cheating or legally deceiving? Some sort of principle or criterion that's crucial for that?
I think yes is the answer. I do. If it smells fishy, it probably is.
As day 2 of the Pro Tour begins, all eyes have shifted to Team Star City Blue. Originally dismissed as a bunch of ragtag minor leaguers and no-names, their hard work and fearlessness have put them near the top of the leaderboard, with newcomer Josh Cho leading the way. Jerry, you are the captain of the underdog team in this fight, all right? Everybody was talking about SCG Black and ChannelFireball as the dominant teams, but it's been your squad to put up the best records after day 1. How did you guys prepare, and were you confident that you could put up these kinds of results?
I wasn't confident, but I knew that everyone had a shot to do well. These are all like young upstart kids that just like have a drive and a fire to do well.
Now, there was a lot of smack talk going on Twitter especially, Some people called you the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, I saw that.
How did you take to those accusations?
I'm from Minneapolis, man. I'm ready to represent.
It's hard to imagine another team coming in when Channel is just dominating, but when you organize and actually compete, like that's what you have to do with Magic now, is you have to have like enough people to gather all this information, because there's all these Magic Online and all these metagame breakdown stuff. So battling for a couple weeks with a big group is such an advantage, and we're just another one.
While Team Star City Black and Star City Blue established themselves as forces to be reckoned with, members of perennial powerhouse ChannelFireball surprised everyone by taking loss after loss and quickly falling out of contention for the trophy. PV tweeted last night that this is the worst showing that ChannelFireball has ever had. What went wrong?
Our playtesting was pretty bad in general. We had a pretty bad read on what the meta would be like, what people would play. We actually had a bunch of members actually get sick in the week before, which sort of disrupted our testing a bit as well. So yeah, we really, our preparation just wasn't here for this tournament.
You're considered a master at reading the meta and making deck choices. Would you say that this is just a blip on the radar of an otherwise stellar career in metagame reading?
I hope so, because we really blew it this time.
After thousands of games over 2 long days, the field of competition has only 8 weary combatants left in the fight for glory on the game's biggest stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, the top 8 for Pro Tour Avacyn Restored Barcelona. First place, now Dennis Vitigeris. Second place, John Finkel. Third place, Joshua Cho. And fourth place, Ken Yukihiro. Fifth place, Dennis Rashid. Sixth place, Thomas Holsinger. Seventh place, Alexander Hayne. And in eighth place, Naoki Shimizu.
You're up in the quarterfinals against John Finkel. What's it going to take to beat John Finkel?
It's going to take a miracle. I mean, he's just a player just like anybody else. He's just a very, very good player. But I'm not going to play his game. I'm just going to play my game. I'm going to let the game come to me. I'm going to destroy him.
Piloting an exciting and unorthodox deck full of newly released Miracle cards, underdog Alexander Hayne found himself on the brink of elimination against John Finkel in Game 4 of the quarterfinals. After making a bold attack with his Snapcaster Mage and Geist of St. Traft, Hayne consulted Tamio, the Moon Sage, to find a spell to travel through time and attack again for the win. This knotted them at 2 games apiece and headed for a decisive Game 5, until Hayne realized he accidentally made illegal substitutions in his deck between games, an infraction that would normally result in forfeiting the match.
I boarded in the cards and I shuffled and I didn't take out the ones I wanted? What happens here?
With thousands of dollars and elimination at stake, John Finkel offered to play it out with the young Canadian, rather than win on a trivial technicality. And given that Hayne called himself out on the infraction, head judge Ricardo Tessitore ruled that play could continue. If you're John, would you do the same thing in that situation?
I mean, if I were in John's situation, I wouldn't do it. I'd be very hungry for like the win, and the rest of the brackets look pretty reasonable. But my experience from testing with John and just being around him is that he has some very, very firm moral convictions about how the world should work, and I feel like this is an expression of that.
It wasn't long before Hayne and his deck full of miracles froze Finkel's Wolf Warrior in its tracks and summoned a trio of angels to vanquish the legendary Hall of Famer. What was it like game to game? I mean, he goes up a game on you real quick, and you were drawing a lot of blanks in a lot of those games. Were you keeping the faith that the angels would come through for you?
Well, playing the deck it's a numbers game. You know some of the games you're not going to hit anything, but you accept that when you play the deck, and you're also going to get a bunch of free wins that you don't really deserve the same way. And I'd really like to thank John. He's such a gentleman, such a good sport. Like, I've the utmost respect for him.
After sweating out 5 more tense games with Josh Cho and his vicious pack of werewolves, Hayne found himself in the finals against Finkel's teammate on Star City Black, the top-ranked Lithuanian, Denis Vidigiris. Do you guys feel confident that Go can carry the torch for Star City Black in the finals?
Yeah,
here?
obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, how's it even a question? This is on lockdown.
Well, you might have heard his opponent plays a lot of miracles.
It is. I mean, he got a miracle in the quarterfinals when John did not give him the game loss, and here we're gonna be a little more ruthless. And there's no more miracles. That's his miracle for the tournament.
Whether by divine intervention or a carefully calculated manipulation of statistical probability, Hayne did indeed play miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle. Once again, he found himself with a choir of mighty angels at his command, and ultimately, a choir of off-key Canadians singing the glory of their Pro Tour champion. You were given more miracles than any reasonable man could pray for. Is it fair to say you're playing God?
No comment.
Congratulations, Alexander Hayne, Rookie of the Year, Captain of Team Canada, and Champion of Pro Tour Avacyn Restored in Barcelona. People have been telling me all weekend that Avacyn Restored is a wonderful set and that your design is fun and intuitive and flavorful.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not sure why they say that. Let's talk about the worst card you've designed in years, Cavern of Souls. On a scale of 1 to 10, how royally did you guys screw this up? What were we talking about?
You were asking about the new set.
Oh yes, the new set is fantastic.